Hi everyone, it's Audrey Hovnessian, Associate Director of Assessment at the Chancellor's Office. This is tutorial number 2 of the Academic and Student Success Programs. And in this tutorial, we're going to go over the items that are due April 20th, which include the program goals and outcome sets, and completing activities, matrices, and maps. Please remember that these are suggested deadlines, all in anticipation of the July 3rd complete assessment reporting deadline. At that time, the expectation is for all assessment information related to the ASSP programs would be uploaded into our online software TasStream. The previous deadline, which was March 30th, items should have included ensuring that all the program coordinators and directors had access to TasStream. The names of your programs were correct on the workspaces. Number of workspaces were correct. We have some programs that are funded under an umbrella but include various different individualized programs that needed to report separately. And that you uploaded your mission statement, program description, student characteristics, and the optional campus comments. This document was sent to all the assessment coordinators and ASSP program leads. It is also available in the archive file of TasStream. I'm going to access TasStream. Remember, this is a web-based software that's available at TasStream.com. Your username is your campus email, and your password, this is the first time you're accessing this software, is your campus email again, at which time you'll be prompted to change it to a specific password that you hopefully remember or write down somewhere. Once you access the software, you'll be directed into our system workspace, where you'll be able to view all of the ASSP programs. We have quite a few, some new ones in the last few weeks, as again, we've identified programs under an umbrella of sorts that require their own reporting. Everyone is able to view the ASSP programs, but only edit their particular workspace. In the very near future, you will see the CSU High Impact Practice Codes after the title of each program. This will assist everyone in identifying the particular activity conducted in that program, since right now many of the program names are quite specific and individual. So I am going to scroll up and select a workspace. And again, in tutorial 1, we went over mission statement, student characteristics, program description, and campus comments. Today, we are going to go over these components: goals and outcomes, activities map, and the archive. I'm also going to discuss background information, presentations, publications, and photos. So when we click in goals and outcomes, you'll be able to see the area where your goals and outcomes will be stored. When you check out this section, you now have the ability to select existing sets or create a new outcome set. Most high impact practices have 2 outcome sets. One is the operational or process set that addresses what type of training staff in that program undergo, or particular types of services that are offered to students and how they're administered. There could be some budget components. Then there is the student outcome set, which is a set of outcomes associated with what student participants who engage in those program activities should accomplish either throughout their participation or at the conclusion. ASSP programs have 3 outcome sets. There should be an operational set, student outcome set, and we have the CSU student success outcomes and accountability metrics. In all of your applications and in documents that you've received, the metric set was introduced. It is a set of 6 goals, and the requirements for funding indicate that evidence has to be provided for 3 out of 6 of the metrics. So once you have selected an existing set, you can click on the CSU Student Success Outcome and Accountability Metric set and press Continue. Since all of us are going to be using aspects of this outcome set, a template has been uploaded, so you do not have to individually upload all of these outcomes and enter them. So once you press Continue, you will see the entire set of goals and outcomes. When you scroll down, you will see that under each goal, there are a number of outcomes. So as an example, for goal 5, which has 6 outcomes, you need to identify about 50% of the outcomes that you are going to provide evidence for. So for this particular goal, you need to pick 3 of the outcomes. Goal 6 has 6, so that is another 3. But when you have, say, goal 4, for example, with 5, 2 or 3 outcomes is sufficient. Once you get to this point, it may be helpful to go to the archive file, click on the CSU Student Success Accountability Metrics document, which will upload, print it out, gather those involved in your program, and discuss goal A, B, C, D, and E, and F. That equates to goal 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 in TasStream. And circle, scratch out, identify what those 3 out of 6 metrics or goals that you are going to be providing evidence for. Once you have done this discussion and narrowed down your goals, then go back into TasStream, upload the outcome set, and delete any outcomes and goals that you are not going to be utilizing or providing evidence for. Once you have done that, you've created your first outcome set. Now, many of the programs that I've visited with, whether it be campus visits or online, have developed outcome sets. Some of them have operations and student outcome sets combined. So those will need to also be discussed and separated into 2 sets. Once you have separated those, you can create a new outcome set. And the format for the naming of the outcome set is the name of the program, and the term operational set or student outcome set. You can use process set, and you can click on outcomes and other sets will need to be aligned in outcomes in this set. Basically what that allows you to is down the line, if in case you need to have 2 sets speak to each other, you have that ability. Press continue. Now, unfortunately, you are not able to condense this set in a similar fashion as if I click this arrow. So you'll have to scroll down, and here is the operational set that we just created. Once the set is created, you can create a new goal. And to write in a goal, it's all caps, goal 1 and colon. If your goal is particularly long, you may want to enter into the description field, which has a maximum characters of 1,000 versus the 104 characters in this goal box here. So say, for example, that your goal 1 is training. If we scroll down, we now have that goal. And I can create a new outcome. And our format for outcome is lowercase, 1.1, no colon. So peer mentors will engage in a 2-day training. It's very general. This is just an example. And once I press continue, I have the option to add another outcome or return to my outcome sets. I'm going to go back to demonstrate where my outcome is. Here we go. Now at any time you can reorder these items, create a new goal again, edit the name, delete this set. You can also delete these outcomes and the goals. Please be sure that once you enter your goals and outcomes that you revisit them, make sure that these are the ones you're going to move forward with, because once you begin to attach evidence and findings, you will not be able to delete the outcome anymore. It will need to be archived. And it's a little bit tricky, but nothing that we can't handle. It just takes a couple more steps. So as long as you have them in there in the format that you like them, you can move forward. Let's scroll up and also create the student set by create new outcome set, enter the program name, this is the student set. I'm going to click so I can share with other outcome sets in the future if I need to. And I can scroll down and there is my other set. Now that you've created your sets, we can create an activities map. It's very important to note that any changes to the goals and outcomes can only be made in this space. They cannot be made in the outcome map space. So when I click activities and intended outcome maps, nothing is there. I have no ability to make any changes until I check out. And then I create a new outcome set. Because there are, map. Because there are 3 outcome sets, I need to create 3 maps. And the naming gets a bit long because we again put the name of the program, and the name of the outcome set. You will only have to enter this once. I promise. And whichever outcome set that you are creating a map for, you go ahead and create that. And you will get a message that indicates that your map will be opened in a new window. And let's allow for that. Now at times, TasStream will not cooperate. My work has not been lost, but for whatever reason, it may be the browser. I was redirected out of the system, so re-log in. Terminate your other session, go back to the workspace. Doesn't happen often, but feel confident that your work is there. So when I click on the map, there is the map that I just created. I'm still checked out. Just took about 10 seconds to go back into the system. Now I can either click on the title, and when I do, I have a static version of the map that I cannot edit in any way. This is a great view if you are interested in printing or projecting that particular map. Where I want to click on is over in the right-hand corner, Edit Map. Some other functions in this right-hand editable area is rename the map, save as or copy, delete, print view, PDF, and archive. The save as and copy is very helpful. If you have any plans of redesigning your program and you want to have a map that you can edit, definitely make a copy rather than edit your actual map. It's very helpful. So I'm going to edit map, and you are going to be asked to select all the goals. This is generally just asked the first time when you've created a new map. So I've selected all of these areas, and now I'm going to open the map, and here is my map. Now it's very important that you have eliminated the goals, the student success and accountability metrics that you are not going to be using, because once you create the map, you're going to actually have to delete the map if you've not deleted which outcomes and goals you're not going to be using. So make sure to do that first and have those discussions. In this map, you will not be able to edit any of the goals and outcomes. That's done in the Goals and Outcomes tab. What you will be able to do is add activities. And over here in the lower left-hand corner, when I hover over this very, very small upside down triangle, when I click this button, it asks me for the course or activity ID. So I'm going to add mentoring as the general title or type of activity. And then I'm going to add peer mentoring, because maybe I have faculty mentoring also. And I'm going to create this. And now you will see mentoring. And I'm going to create one more for faculty mentoring. This could be study sessions. This could be all different types of activities. What I'd like you to see is that I'm able to recategorize these just by using these up and down arrows. I can re-click on that particular activity. It reopens it so I can make any changes. Or I can select and click on the X and delete that activity. The other options that I have are aligning the activity to particular outcomes to demonstrate how I achieve those outcomes. One other function is under this upper left-hand button, Mapping Actions, where I can also change my filters. I can manage my alignment set, create a new category. Instead of clicking on that very teeny tiny triangle, I can create a new course or outcome, course or activity here. I can copy my map, print it, or export it. The most frequent button that I use in this drop-down menu is create a new category. And I can do that. Let's see, enter annual activities. And I will show you where this goes. I had one category for course and learning activities, and now I have these annual activities. To give you an academic example, we have programs that are in the same department. For example, computer systems, computer science, computer engineering. All of these students, undergraduate students, take similar courses, maybe 4 or 5 common departmental courses. So these may be those common courses. This is maybe the category. I list those courses, and then the next category may be program specific. And then I may have another category that says electives, so that it's very easy to see which courses go where and which align to which outcomes. One other item that I'll draw your attention to is this document, and many of the documents are being saved quite quickly, almost every second. So you'll see here there's a timestamp. What we just did was auto-saved. You can feel free to click Save Now before you leave this map, but know that your items are being saved, and most things you won't lose in case there's an issue or you accidentally close a particular window. This map is an external window. It's a new browser that's been opened, so when you are done with it, you can go ahead and close it, and you're back into your workspace, and you still have your map. Other maps are created in the same format. Once you have the goals and outcomes inputted into this tab, you can create a map and begin to build and enter your activities. We went over the archive of assessment. The other areas that I was going to demonstrate before I switch out into another workspace that has quite a bit of information uploaded already is background information. This is a form that can be filled out at any time. It's very helpful. And once you check it out, you can complete this form. And what's needed is the program leader information, the assessment coordinator information, and other funding sources. This is a very important area because as we have other campuses or individuals interested in possibly creating similar programs, it's good to know how much additional funding is required above the ASSP awarded funds. And again, if you have any problems getting back to particular spaces, you can go home and go back into the workspace. You'll be just fine. The key is go home when you have problems. All right, the other buttons I was going to demonstrate or areas are presentations, publications, and photos. And these are areas just to upload important information related to those tabs. So in presentations, if you are going to any conferences or even presenting on campus, anywhere amongst yourselves and have a PowerPoint, please do share those with everyone. Publications is very important. If you have a link to the publication or the publication itself, please upload it here. And photos. Photos may also find themselves in the finding area. So as you have activities or take photos of students engaged in the activities of your program, they can be attached to outcomes to demonstrate what is being done. But if there's any other additional photos, you can store them here. It makes it very helpful in the one-stop shop whenever you're creating photos or creating presentations that require photos. So now I'm going to just quickly switch over into a workspace that has quite a bit of this information already uploaded. So when I click Goals and Outcomes, you will see a revised Student Success Outcomes and Accountability Metric list. So as you can see, the requirement is 3 out of 6. There's actually 4 remaining of the 6, but 4 and 5 have been eliminated. And you'll see also that there are only a particular number of outcomes still in this set. And if you scroll down, you'll see their operational effectiveness set, as well as their student success outcome set. When this section is not checked out, you can minimize these sets quite nicely. In the activities and intended outcome map, you see all 3 maps. And if I click to view them, I can see the outcomes remaining and goals and the activities associated to those outcomes. Now, it's important to note that as you're creating these maps and inputting your goals and outcomes, you may find that there's a bit of overlap. If there are similar goals and outcomes between the CSU set and your operational and student learning outcomes, a decision may need to be made to eliminate. Because if you keep them, you're going to find that you're uploading measures more than once or even up to 2 and 3 times. If that's okay, you may consider keeping them because the CSU set is very standardized, whereas your particular operational and student learning outcomes are individualized to your particular program. And it is good to see what your outcomes are in comparison to other programs, whereas the CSU set may not tell that story in the exact same format. And here is their student learning outcomes. So again, this is a great visual tool when you're going to meetings, when you're discussing what the activities are that you engage in. Just looking at the map, there could be particular discussions of, look at just in terms of quantity, this 3.1. There are 3 different activities associated to this outcome, whereas this one has quite a few more. This could be a more heavily weighted activity than other activities, and just having those discussions and looking at this map is just a great tool and great starting point. There's no reason that all of these checks should be equal across. But if, for example, there's quite a few checked or not checked, then again, that just is a starting point of discussion. Okay, I'm going to move down again. Background information is a quick form. It really helps, 5, 10, 15 years down the road. Looking back to see who was involved in the administration of the program can be quite helpful. Now, this is stepping into more to tutorial 3, or content, but I did want to demonstrate this information and what goes into these areas. Now, once you have confirmed your goals and outcomes, this section, the assessment plan, is where measures are uploaded. So however you are measuring that particular outcome, in this section you would describe the measure in terms of a detail of description, how it's administered, when it's administered, what is your minimal criteria for success, what's your ideal, what are you going to do with this assessment, and who's the key person responsible. Then, depending on what type of measure that is, if it's a survey, if it's a rubric, you would upload the survey questions related to that outcome or a blank rubric as a demonstration of that particular measure. Once that's completed, you would administer your measure and come back with your findings and then click the next tab. When you scroll down, you now have an area underneath the description of your measure to upload your particular findings. In addition to a narrative explanation of your findings, you can also upload examples. Then there would be around May or early June, the gathering of all the individuals engaged in your program to discuss all of the outcomes, all of the measures and findings associated with the outcomes, whether there needs to be changes, what your particular findings indicate. All of that conversation and information is going to be maybe kept in minutes and then turned into a narrative summary, which goes into the assessment annual report. If you find that any of your outcomes need to be revised or worked on further, you can create action plans, which I will have another tutorial for. And then this section is for my review and then planning for next year. And that was just getting you a little bit ahead of the game. So hopefully this tutorial has been helpful. Please know that this is not a substitution for any individualized type of help or assistance. Please feel free to contact me anytime. Emails, screenshots, phone calls. I can share desktops with you. We can definitely get you rolling. Those campus visits have been extremely helpful, I think, in getting a better understanding of the software and working together. So I look forward to just the handful of campuses that we have left to meet with, and we're continuing to work with you all. Thank you very much.